Welcome to the Gen X Journey podcast. Dive into all things important to Gen Xers, from advice on aging parents, expert interviews, product reviews, and heartfelt conversations. So put down the joystick, grab your Walkman, dust off your old yearbooks, and welcome to the Gen X Journey.
Everybody, welcome back to the Gen X Journey podcast. This is Steve. I'm back with my good friends Noel and Keith. How you doing, guys?
Great, man.
Good.
So today we are wrapping up season 1 of the Gen X Journey. It feels like just yesterday we came out this new brand of a podcast, and we hope our listeners have enjoyed it so far. And we wanted to really take a moment to talk about our favorite moments from the first season of the Gen X Journey. And so, guys, I know we sort of discussed this a little bit. Who wants to go first on their favorite episode from season 1?
I think one of mine that I thought was pretty good. If you haven't had a chance to listen to it, it's one of my favorites. Is the episode called "We're On to You, Mom and Dad." And you guys remember that one?
Oh yeah,
The conspiracy theories that live with us to this day.
Yes, and it was fascinating as we started kind of running through some of them. I was like, "Holy cow!" My mom told me the same thing. Like we were like uncovering some of these things that, and it's just kind of funny that this is pre-internet and pre-communications like we have today, where you can just send a text message to a group and everybody hears the same stuff and is on the same page as far as a conspiracy theory goes. This was all word of mouth, I guess. I don't know how you communicated back in the day, but anyway, it's fascinating. Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. That's the episode.
Yeah, it is a good one. Let's give that one a listen. Well, I'll tell you what I thought of.
What about you, Keith?
Well, we're getting in the summer months, right? So this is very relevant to people when we were kids our age at this time of year. And it was all of our parents told us that we had to wait a certain time after we ate before we could get back in the pool. So for me, it was 30 minutes. Did you all have a time?
Yep. Same.
30 minutes.
Yeah. So 30 minutes.
Weird?
Yeah. Or else you would be sick.
My parents didn't know each other, but still that's so weird.
Yeah. How did they figure out this? And again, like you said, Noel, how did they get it down to that time? 30 minutes or else you will throw up or have massive stomach cramps or sink to the bottom of the pool and die. I don't know if that's true or not. But anyway, it was always that way. That was crazy. And I believed it. I remember eating a hot dog and just having to sit there and like, how about now, Mom? Can I go now, Mom?
Can I put my feet in the pool at least? Yeah. So, Keith, what's one of your favorite episodes?
So I will tell you, first and foremost, this is season 1 of the Gen X Journey. But if anybody's having a seasons on their episode, since we have the old Wayback Chronicles, we're actually into season 5 in total, even though this is season 1. So I don't want people to get confused there. But, I'm going to go more recent, really. One of my favorite episodes was the Saturday morning of a Gen X child. Just talking about, Steve, but before we even started the podcast, Steve talked about how he had cravings for, what was it? Frosted Flakes. Yeah. So he went out one night after a hard day and went and got a box of Frosted Flakes to kill his sorrows a little. So I just, the idea and the nostalgia of just being in front of that TV, in your pajamas, eating your favorite cereal and watching one of your favorite shows, just so happy. Yeah. So let's give that one a listen. So what is your turn to? What do you go to? What's your
so number one all my life has always been Frosted Flakes.
Oh man, how did I not think of that one? Beautiful.
So and so like there was growing up, probably like for y'all, there was usually more than one type of cereal. There was usually the cereal that me and my brother would eat, maybe a backup cereal, and then mom and dad's cereal. And so usually like the backup would be like Corn Smacks, which was solid, but it would always make your pee stink. But then the worst thing was if there was just plain cornflakes or Cheerios.
Oh my gosh,
that cereal. I was like, do y'all not enjoy life?
Right.
Where's the sugar and that stuff? So I'd be like spooning sugar and the Cheerios, trying to add to what I was missing in there. But
if your milk doesn't have crystals on the top, it's not worth it.
Sometimes I finish the bowl of Cheerios and there's this giant glob of milky sugar at the
Yeah.
bottom.
Oh, that's
that was
the
my favorite
best.
part.
Oh, when your lip tip the bowl up and it doesn't run, it just
It's like,
crawls.
yeah. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Absolutely the best.
It's like a great gray in color.
Yes.
Golly.
I'll add another one to the parent list. And it actually was when I would go spend the night at my grandparents. To that list, I'll add grape nuts.
Oh my gosh, man. I could never choke those things down, man.
Yeah.
The smell, they smell like kitty litter. I mean,
it's got the consistency of it too, man.
It really does.
That'll beat your mouth up, man.
Yeah, it will.
Freaking Captain Crunch didn't have anything on brand or on that stuff.
That stuff has to scrape your.
All right, C, what about you?
So I really enjoyed the Gen X icons part 1 and part 2 that we did, because we've always talked about, we've grown up in just a fantastic era of so many things happened. We were influenced by so many different people, music, political leaders, so many different people, sports figures. It's amazing just the influences that some of these icons in our lifetime has had on our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so such a great listen and such a great walk to memory lane to some of the people that influenced us as we grew up.
Absolutely. Just so much fun thinking about all of the people that influenced our lives. And you think that every generation has that, right? But it's some of those people just carry on in our spirit a little bit more. So
the next person on this list is a no doubter in my brain, and that is the artist known as Prince.
Oh yeah.
And
yes.
And again, lost him too soon. I think I really pray that one of these days they'll release the rest of his music archive so we can hear the rest of the greatness that he created that we have never heard once in our life. And I think I'll say that to my entire life, hoping that actually happens. Right. I was a big Prince fan. I loved his music. It's a lot of good memories behind it. Y'all agree? I assume y'all both agree that he is a no doubter on this list, right?
100%. 100%. Have you guys ever seen him perform the song Cream? It was live. He did it live at Webster Hall in 2004. Have you ever seen that video?
I haven't. I need to watch that.
Go to YouTube and Google that, or go to YouTube and then search for that. It's Prince Cream live at Webster Hall. And it is what I like about it is it's just him and his guitar. And what I like about it is how he pretty much just controls the room. He's very interactive with the people there. And the audience is like singing with them, and I won't ruin it for you, but just seeing how he just would just control the room, with his artistic abilities and that music. I've never played a guitar before, but it sure does look like it looks and sounds hard.
Yeah.
Some of the chords and stuff he was playing, and I've seen people analyze that, real experienced guitar players on YouTube, and they were like, the stuff he was doing was just insane. And
Noel, what other ones did you find that were pretty fascinating, or ones that you listened to more over and over again?
The episode that we did on the empty nest syndrome was one that it's if you're a longtime listener of our podcast, first, thank you. But you'll know that a lot of our episodes are pretty lighthearted. They're easy topics and just meant to be fun and lighthearted for the most part. This one was very much a turn towards the serious, and we had Shanna Gordy on to talk about it. She's a counselor that specializes in life transitions, and her insights I thought were very helpful, hopefully to our listeners. It's a topic that's near and dear to a lot of Gen Xers, and we released that right around September of this year, which is done strategically because a lot of listeners are going through that transition in their life. So I thought that was one that was really good. It's very personal as well.
One of the things I thought was interesting about that is, like you said, we usually do serious things, but you even had a listener comment to you that it kind of took him aback a little bit that we actually did some serious stuff, right?
Yeah. I had a listener, a friend of mine, that has listened for a long time. He was like, "You guys all right?" Like that caught me off guard. I normally dial you guys in for some fun and everything, and the next thing I know, I'm like, "Whoa, okay." I'm getting some real good life pointers here, life advice. So it was a little different tone of our shows, but it was good. One of my favorites.
We definitely want to have some lighthearted fun, but shoot, if this is a journey, we're still on it. So we gotta bring some real home every once in a while, right?
That's right.
Absolutely.
Let's give some of that a listen. What are some of the emotional challenges that you see that when you're talking to parents, what are they facing emotionally when their children are leaving home?
A lot of them, it's a feeling of loss and loneliness and confusion. They don't, or just, what do we do?
Right.
Like, where do we go from here? Half their, the last 20 years or 25 years, depending on the age of their children, was devoted to football practices, cheer practice, dance. And now all of a sudden you've got this, what do we do? Where do we go? Who do we talk to? What do we talk about? That's the other thing, is the connection with their partners. Like, what do we talk about? Who are you? Do I even know?
Yeah.
Such a great episode.
Oh, it was. One of the other, I just, I think that music on Gen X is so powerful. I really will go to my grave saying that our generation's music is the best. I'm sure all of generations say this, right? But I'm right. That's the thing. So we had a couple of we had a recap of a show that Noel and I were able to attend, but we also had before that just an entire show dedicated to the impact of live music on the Gen X audience. And so I think that's one of my favorites as well, because it really did drive home some of the great artists that we were able to see. And we also threw out together a little bucket list of people we'd like to see on that one that's still around today. So let's give that one a listen.
Music is probably more important to our generation than any other generation that exists. And it defined who we are, to define the attitude that we have. And so be able to see all those artists in person. And, which is, it made that relationship in that music more, I guess, emotional, personal. I felt like, I remember, going to see, just any concert, you just feel like that artist is singing to you. And I think that's why it's so important to us.
Steve, you got another one that was one of your favorites?
Yeah, sure do. So one that I thoroughly enjoyed was the episode titled "Things Gen X Experience That Are Banned or Changed Now." And boy, do we screw some stuff up for the current generations, but in a good way. Like I as we were going through these episodes, I really enjoyed cherished the fact that there are some things that we got to experience that no one will ever get to experience again.
Yeah.
And I sort of think that's a point of pride for our generation. So
there's some back of my legs that still don't have skin to this day due to some of those. So yeah, they're still on the playground slide,
Yeah.
So yeah, we had actually 2 full episodes of things that are banned that we got to experience now. So
a much more robust list than we ever anticipated.
Oh yeah, we kept going deeper, and we're like, oh my gosh, there was a lot of stuff that was probably iffy, but I would do it all over again. So let's listen to a couple of snippets of each one of those.
Do it.
But I vividly remember going on airlines and seeing plumes of smoke on the airplane.
Oh yeah.
And I remember, do you all remember that, like the seat, the arm rails, right? That you would be on. There were ashtrays. Do you remember this? There were ashtrays in the arms of airplanes. And I mean, I remember looking at some of those, and there were like some other person's cigarette butts still in there when I got on the plane.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Didn't they had like smoking sections, which is the most dumbest. And in an airplane, you had a smoking section. I'm like,
later on,
we're in an oxygen filled enclosed tube. Right. So unless you've got unless you got a window crack back there, that smoke's circulating, dude.
Which I don't advise.
No, it's not a good idea to open a window.
Yeah. One of the other things that we introduced that I thought Noel did a great job with was we're starting to introduce products that are still relevant to Gen Xers today. And the security that we're having to deal with all over our lives right now is a big topic of conversation. And I thought, Noel, your introduction of the Eufy cam, right? That you use. we had not only and same with the empty nest syndrome, we had actually a video podcast about that one. So we were able to see some examples of the product that you use in your home to keep you all safe. And so,
I've had some listeners actually send me some questions too about
Really?
the security systems that they're buying, and ask me questions about the Eufy Cam and comparison to what they're buying and stuff. So yeah, it was cool to be able to interact with our listeners that way and kind of provide them with just answering some of their further questions and stuff. So yeah, that was a good one, a first for the Gen X Journey podcast. And I was in the swimming pool in our resort and monitoring my front yard from my phone. And it has a live video feed that you can use. So I can access the cameras to see like what recordings it has on it remotely, or I can even turn on the camera itself and watch the video like in a streaming video type format or type situation for as long as I want, and which is just super cool. So
yeah, it's kind of profound to think of. This is a perfect Gen X product because you just illustrated that in a pool in the Caribbean, instead of looking at bikinis, you're admiring your lawn.
I'm excited to get some more products into the mix for us to review together.
Yeah, and in the next coming weeks, we have at least a couple that'll be put in there. So I'm looking forward to sharing those with you. Steve, also let's talk a little bit about other things that are coming up in the next season, season 2 of Gen X, or season 6 overall. Give us a highlight of a couple of the next conversations we'll be having.
Yeah, you bet. So first of all, I think we need to bring this episode up as well. If you are a newer listener to our podcast, we highly recommend that you start with Who is Gen X episode.
Yes,
because that defines what motivates us in this podcast, how we're wired, what we're passionate about, and what's influenced us. And so I think this is a great start if you were a new listener, haven't listened to that yet. And research really describes Gen Xers as active, happy. We achieve a work-life balance. I need to be better at that personally. But the cohort has also been more broadly credited as we're entrepreneurial. I can't say that word. And
you just did. You nailed it.
Yeah, entrepreneurial. There you go.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
You did it again.
And productive in the workplace. And all three of us are small business owners or business owners in some capacity. And so part of it is it seems to be a common trait amongst Gen Xers. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on the episode. So season 2, we got some really cool stuff planned. So we may or may not have a pickleball episode.
We'll are. By the time it's too cold to play, we're going to release the pickleball.
Absolutely. We have Keith and Noel out there in shorts taking on 2 other people.
That's right.
And
we've talked about this episode so much and teased our poor listeners. We got to deliver.
We
guys.
have to deliver. Absolutely. That will be coming up.
But coming up, look for some cool episodes about the TV show Cheers.
Yes.
Some of your favorite movie scenes from the 80s and 90s, the history of ESPN, the history of MTV, that's some deep
Cliff Notes.
So the history of Cliff Notes which
cool.
Probably haven't seen or heard those heard that terminology in a long time, but gosh, we all had them in college.
It made me through a couple of grades, I'll tell you that much. That's for sure.
So. And then look for some deep dives in the next season for Saturday Night Live, John Williams. I'm really excited about the John Williams potential, and Steven Spielberg as well. Of course, we can't have Keith and Noel on the show without talking about Star Wars.
That's right. But, Steve's going to be the feature speaker in that one.
Yeah, I will.
Steve
about my Millennium Falcon that I crash frequently.
Yes,
Steve loves Star Wars like every kid loves broccoli.
That's right. That's right.
It's not a dislike for me. It's just not. I'm not
your slice of bread, right?
Yeah. Then other ideas out there. MASH deep dive Eddie Murphy, which I think we have to do Eddie Murphy for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
many more to come.
Was that Noel? You got your knife?
Nope.
No.
No.
Is that what that quote was from?
Oh yeah, sorry. Totally. That just, did you see that fly right over my head? I want the knife.
There we go. That's it.
Please.
Anyway, a lot of great content built up.
Yes.
And early next year, we'll probably even talk about the history of the person who created caller ID and call waiting, which is a pretty fascinating story.
It is so cool.
Yeah, it really is. So excited about that.
So a big slate planned for us. A lot of research required ahead.
Yes.
And but we hope you all enjoy. I hope you all appreciate these episodes.
Hopefully some fun things that will make people go, holy cow, I forgot about that. So that's kind of what we're hoping for. Some common everyday things that we all love as Gen X, but a couple of things are going to go, wow, I completely forgot about that. So, and for our listeners, we love to hear things that you all are passionate about too. So do not hesitate. If you have something that really reminds you of your youth, if you reminds you of being a Gen Xer, or if it's something that you would like some help with as we're going through life together, don't hesitate to let us know in the comments. We're on this audio podcast on YouTube. Comment down there. Join our Facebook community, join our X community, join our Threads, Instagram community, and give us some comments and things that you would like to hear too. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform so you can be alerted to the newest episodes, because we'd really love your support and hope that you're enjoying this journey with us.
Yep. Awesome.
We'll also talk about elder care as well.
I think that's important as we're trying to find this middle ground of, raising children, making sure that they're succeeding in life. And we know all of our parents are getting to that time of life where they may need some little assistance. Where do we turn? What do we have to look for? Great idea, Noel. Definitely.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a topic like the empty nesting that a lot of Gen Xers are dealing with and need to be prepared for. And it's a difficult topic, but I think it's one, again, it's going to be helpful for our listeners. So
yeah, and we'll actually have a special guest on to help us with that as well.
Awesome, as well as a pickleball professional.
That's right.
As soon as we figure out who's a pickleball professional,
we'll let you know.
It's not going to happen.
We are going to surprise you, Steve.
Yeah. Do you know there's a pickleball network? Like, I'm not even kidding. There's a pickleball network.
It doesn't surprise me.
I was at we were in a sports bar in Las Vegas, and they have all these TVs and stuff, and in the corner of the room was like a pickleball network. I'm like, oh, that's my awesome. Gosh, that exists. So
that is awesome.
Yeah,
very cool.
All right,
you want to wrap it up? You can. Will.
Yep. Gentlemen, it's been great to kind of go down memory lane, and I hope that our listeners enjoy their walk down memory lane as well. And thanks for everybody for tuning in, and we'll check in with you next time. Take care, everybody.
Excited for what's to come.
Yep.
Later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in the Gen X Journey podcast belong solely to the hosts and guests and do not necessarily represent the views or opinions of any entity they are associated with. The information provided is for entertainment and informational purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. Listeners are encouraged to seek the advice of qualified professionals for any specific issues they may face. The creators and contributors of this podcast make no representations as to the accuracy, completeness, or validity of any information, and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its use.